Okay, I see Masood has joined and Mohammed Taki has joined. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Hi guys, how are you all doing? You are the first ones here to our masterclass. So I'm guessing this is your first time attending our classes. So welcome. Hope you have an amazing time with us. And meanwhile, we can have a conversation while the rest of other students join. Good afternoon, Mohammed. How are you doing, Mohammed? Let me know. How's everything going on your end? And what about Masood? Hi, Masood. How are you? Guys, if you all don't have a conversation with me, how are we supposed to proceed? Yes, you're doing well. All right, Masood is also doing well. I'm glad to hear that, guys. So tell me, have you all, first of all, tell me which grade you both are in, and have you all started preparing for your SETs? Or, are you looking forward to giving any attempt in SETs soon? So you're in 12th standard. All right. So now is the time where you get, really serious about your career and start actually preparing for SETs. I'm guessing you start preparing for SETs, Masood, since you're in 12th. And what about Mohammed? Which grade are you in? 11th. All right, Mohammed. So you're going to 12th this academic year. Cool. So both of you are sailing in the same boat. I think it's time you get serious about it. So guys, since we're talking about, SETs and stuff, I mean, obviously that's why you've joined the masterclass today. Are you all giving any attempt this year? Because given the fact that you're in 12th, I would advise that you all, start giving. You have 4 attempts left for this year. One is coming up in 7 days, that's May 7th. Then there's August, October, and December for Indian SET students. So have you guys planned it out? Which attempt are you looking forward to give? Let me know. October. Okay. Masood, is there a reason why you're not giving the August attempt? And what about Mohammed? Which attempt are you planning to give, Mohammed? Or have you not decided yet? Not prepared. All right, Masood. But I think the one advice that I will give is the earlier you give your attempts, the more advantage you have, because first you get done with your SETs quickly. So, if you give your October attempt, then the only attempt that will be left is the December one. You'll have only one attempt left, and then you have your boards coming up. But if you do give it in August, then you'll at least be having October and December, both of the attempts left for you to clear out your SETs. So I would recommend that if you are planning on giving it this year, then start giving it in August, because that way you'll have the advantage of at least having 2 more attempts to further give. Even if you feel like you're not confident enough right now, today is 30th April. Let's say if you start preparing for tomorrow as well, you'll have ample time on your hand to actually get prepared. And SET is not like an equational exam. SETs aren't about equations or about academic stressfully. It's more about logic and concept. How quickly can you grab a concept and how smartly can you apply it? So I think in today's masterclass, you'll get a glimpse of that. But yeah, that's my advice. Meanwhile, Deepak and Roshan, Anwar, both of you all have joined. Hi guys, how are you doing? We were just talking about SETs. And Mohammed, I've still not received an answer from your side. Which attempt are you planning to give? And Masood, hope you were listening to the advice that I just gave. All right, so Deepak and Roshan, yeah, you are. Thanks for that, Masood. Deepak and Roshan, how are you guys doing? Deepak, you've raised your hand, so hey there. I haven't decided yet. All right, so Mohammed, I'll just tell you the attempt. So we have one attempt coming up on May for Indian students, but I think it's too soon. It's in a week. So 7th of May, then we have it in August, October, and December. And what I was telling to Masood, I feel like that also applies to you, Mohammed, since you're in 12th standard. And hey, Deepak, could you tell me which grade you are in? Since you've typed okay in the chat box instead of typing hi. So let me know which grade you're in. And Pranu has joined. Hi, Pranu. How are you doing? And Roshan, are you there? I don't see an answer from your side. Guys, if we cannot interact with each other and not have a conversation, how am I supposed to help you all over here? What's the point of you all joining in, right? Okay. So if you all have any questions regarding your SETs, regarding college applications, universities, any particular field that you're looking forward to in your career, you can ask these questions in the chat box to me and I'll be able to answer it. I'll be able to answer almost all of the questions that you all have. So any questions you have regarding colleges, universities, abroad studies, applications, scholarships, financial aids, SOPs, LORs, anything that forms the application process or SET process, let me know in the chat box and I'll answer it for you. And Roshan, you said yes. So Roshan, Deepak, which grade are you guys in and how are you all doing? Type it in the chat box quickly, guys. You're all pretty smart people. And Neeraj has joined. So hey Neeraj and hi Pranu. Hi guys. Any questions? I'll give you all like a second to type down your questions. Hey Neeraj, how are you? I've heard about something called as majors in MIT. Can you tell me what is that? Okay, so Mohammed, first of all, so majors is basically something that you done, like how should I describe majors for you? Majors is basically you doing like in the procedure of doing your master's. So that is called as majors. What you have been preparing for is undergraduate courses. And if you're looking forward to get into MIT, which is like ranks first in the entire world, so MIT is an amazing college to get into. It's a dream come true. But MIT, you'll be taking undergraduate courses for now. Majors is something you take after you complete your undergraduate courses. So I hope that answered it, Mohammed. And Deepak, you're saying I had done. Okay, so Deepak, you're finished with your 12th standard. Can commerce student join MIT? Masood, so I'm not sure if MIT provides this courses, but there are better colleges for the same course. So if you are a commerce student in 12th standard, you can still join whichever field that you want to choose if MIT courses provide that. So what I can suggest is you go into MIT's official website and see what courses they provide, because MIT has a lot of courses ranging from business to medical as well. And commerce students can, of course, like SATs and college admissions do not have a bias. Any student can take up any field. There's no like bias as such. So I hope I answer that, Masood. And let me know which field are you planning on getting into in MIT. And if there are better options than MIT for this field, I can let you know. CBSE final exam is going on. Okay, so Pranu, first of all, how can you join in to abroad universities? So basically, there's a lot of procedure that goes into. I'll just give you a brief. So first thing is that we recommend our students to take up SETs or any entrance exam. So you can give ACT, there is IELTS, there is TOEFL. All of these are just entrance exams to get into abroad universities. Abroad universities have a profile building. So they look at your profile, which is 50% academic, 50% extracurriculars, and then you have a fighting chance on getting into that admissions. Then you have to go through the visa procedure and apply for your visa over there, your student visas as well. That documentation is different once you get registered into an abroad university. So the first step for you, Pranu, is give your SATs. SAT scores are valid for next 5 years, so you don't have to worry about it. Absolutely. SAT is the best option for getting into renowned colleges with scholarship. So abroad education can be very expensive, and you also get scholarships based on your SAT scores. So first step, Pranu, give your SATs, pass them with amazing marks, look into the universities you want to get into. And since you're in 10th standard, now is the best time to start with your SATs. The earlier you start, the more advantage you have, because then you get time to focus on your extracurricular profile building as well. And Mohammed, my name is Ayman Hussain. It's an Arabic derivative name. So yeah, it's Ayman Hussain. I hope you got that. All right. How can I easily get letter of recommendation? So there are two kinds of letter of recommendations. First letter of recommendation you get is from your teachers of high school. We advise you to take letter of recommendations from your 12th standard teachers. And the second letter of recommendation is through your counselors in the school. But if you want supplementary letter of recommendation, for example, you've done an outside course, you've done an internship, or you've done volunteering work for your profile, then you can get letter of recommendation from the person in charge of you. Like, for example, if you were doing an internship, whoever is your boss, you can get a letter of recommendation from them. Or if you're doing volunteering work, for example, you're working for an NGO, so that NGO can also give you a letter of recommendation. So there's no such thing as how easily you can get. You just have to ask for it, and you have to ask for a letter of recommendation. And you can also provide them with your CV of achievements, like what you have done, and listing down all of your achievements till now in life, so that they can give you a better letter of recommendation. So I hope I answered that. Yeah. Any other questions you all have? In Masood, I hope I answered it. So letter of recommendations is important, guys. The better or the more renowned people you get the letter of recommendation from, the better it is, because it just makes you stand out of the crowd, right? These colleges, which are like abroad colleges, are extremely competitive in terms of who gets admission, and it is very expensive to get admission over there. So it's all about how well you can stand out from the crowd. Meanwhile, everyone who's just joined, hey guys, we've just been discussing colleges and SETs. If you all have any questions, please type it down in the chat box. What are the extracurriculars we should be focusing on? How should we come across them? All right, Mohammed, this is an amazing answer. So extracurriculars that you can focus on, first of all, sports, right? So college admissions give a lot of credit for students who are in sports. If you are not interested in sports, then extracurriculars can be volunteering work. That also looks really good on your profile. It can be about doing a small internship. I'm not telling you to do all a technical internship. It's kind of difficult to get that, but any small internship also helps. You can do extra courses that are not related to your academics. So there are multiple online courses. Also something that our team can also help you with. So Leap also helps you get internships, volunteering work, and we can also help you get online courses. So online courses are also important. Certified courses are important. Those all just build your extracurriculars and help the college know how well you are and how well your personality is as an overall person. So yeah. And how should we come across them? Like I suggest, so there are a lot of online courses that you can get, which are certified ones. Preferably, certified courses are better. You can search for volunteering work online as well. There is a lot of Google volunteering that goes on as well. There are a lot of online internships that you can come across. You can do content writing. You can start a blog, or you can get into sports. So if you're representing your school in a sports team, that also looks really good on your profile. So I hope I answered that. Ayush, you've been asking if social working includes NCC and all. So NCC does not come in social work, but NCC does look good on the profile. It can come into extracurriculars, but it does not come under social work. And guys, I would love to answer all of your questions. Keep writing down in the chat box, and I'll get back to all of your questions by the end of the masterclass. That's a promise. But since it's already 4 o'clock, I think it's time that we start our masterclasses, so that that's what you all are here for. So welcome everyone to a math masterclass. And today we have Piyush Avasthi sir with us. He's a mechanical engineer who's turned into an academician with 6 years of experience in the field of higher education and study abroad test preparations like GMAT, GRE, and SAT. Through his experience as an expert in the study of abroad test preparations, Piyush sir has supported 10,000 students in their pursuit of achieving their dream schools abroad. And at Leap Scholar, he's a senior trainer for SAT Math. And right from building your basics to your major concepts to giving you tips and tricks on how to save time on SAT Math, how to do logical questions easily, he's going to help you get a perfect score of 800. And that is something that we can ensure. With enriched learning experiences, he brings you regular mock tests and in-depth analysis with detailed feedback. And today he is here to give you a glimpse of everything I've just mentioned about him. So with that, I welcome you, sir. And for the rest of you all, hope you all have an amazing session with us. Meanwhile, every question in the chat box, I'll be able to answer it at the end of the session. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Shume. And good evening to everyone. I hope I am audible to all. Am I clearly audible? Of course, I am audible, but the point is, am I clearly audible to all? Because this is a class where you are here to learn something, and I don't want any point to go out, without getting into your ears. So great. Good to know that I'm clearly audible. So as you know about me, my name is Piyush, and Ume has told everything about me. So of course, I don't need to give my intro. But I want to ask one thing from you. The first question, of course, being in this class is that how many of you are going to attempt your SAT in May attempt, like the coming month? Is there anyone? Anyone who is going to give the SAT in the May attempt? It seems no one. Okay. So, and how many of you are here who do not know anything about SAT? Is there anyone who is completely unaware about the pattern of the SAT or what is SAT? Which means everyone knows about it. Okay, fine. So, as you know, this is a class on maths, and maths is all about learning tips and tricks and approaches, right? And that is why I'm here. So my objective was that, okay, if someone is here who is going to attempt the SAT in the coming month, which is in May, maybe I can help out something. So because no one is here, so no worries, you can just write down all the tips that I'm going to give you in today's class so that you can work on your maths in a more better way. Quickly taking you that what all we will be covering in the session today. So of course, we are going to talk about the structure of the exam. We'll talk about your awareness about SAT. Then we'll show you some cool tips and tricks, and we'll talk about that school versus SAT approach, which means what all you have learned in school is really required to ace in SAT, or you need to learn something new. And then I will, of course, give you some tips to improve your SAT score. Okay. So with this note, I'm quickly taking you to the slide where we are going to talk about the structure of the exam. So everyone, please see over here that if you talk about SAT, if you know it, that's good. If you do not know it, make a note that SAT test you on two things. One is English and one is math. Okay. If you talk about English, in English, you have two sections that you will see in SAT. One is a reading section and one is a writing section. Okay. And the duration and the number of questions in each section is given here on the board. So you can see that in the reading section, you have to do 52 multiple choice questions and you will be given 65 minutes of time. In the writing section of English, you have to do 44 multiple choice questions and you will be given 35 minutes of time. Okay. And what all comes in reading section and writing section, our overview of those things is given here in the last column. Okay, coming to the maths part. So in SAT maths, again, there are two sections of math. One is a no calculator section and second is a calculator section. And as the name denotes, in the no calculator, you are not allowed to use the calculator. In the calculator, you can use the calculator. Talking about the number of questions in the no calculator section, 15 multiple choice questions and 5 grid-in questions, which makes a total of 20 questions. So students, you are going to get 20 questions in math and you will be having 25 minutes of time. So think about it. How will you solve 20 questions in 25 minutes? That is where you have to work upon. The second section of math is the calculator one. Okay, there you have 30 multiple choice questions and 8 grid-in questions, which makes a total of 38 questions, right? And for doing these 38 questions, you will be given 55 minutes of time. So this is the pattern of the exam. This is all the things that you have to work upon and timely do it in the exam so that you complete all the questions. Now, what is it that makes SAT difficult? I'm specifically talking about SAT maths here because I'm a trainer for math. So what is it that makes SAT maths difficult? It is nothing but this timing part. It is the time part over here where you have to work upon. Otherwise, the questions are easy, but if you are going to solve them using the ways that you have learned in school, believe me, I can bet on it, you will not be able to complete all the questions. And that is why we come every day to teach you, to make you learn some kind of tips and trick with the help of which you can easily do all the questions. And today also we will see the same thing. Okay, I will be taking few questions on the board. I will show you some shortcut ways of doing them and you all can make a note of it. And once you are in school, you can also share it with your friends also that, okay, this is the way, see, now I can do this question within seconds. Okay. So before I directly take you on to the questions and make you learn those shortcuts, which of course you are eagerly waiting for, I have certain, some questions for you to test your awareness on SAT. Okay, so let's see how much you know about SAT apart from the pattern. So I'm expecting the answers from everyone. The first question on the board is how many marks are deducted for every wrong answer in the exam, in the SAT exam? Yes, guys. All you need to do is to just type A, B, C, D. What do you think? If you make a question wrong or if you input a wrong answer, how many marks will be deducted? Very good. It seems that you know well about SAT. So the first thing is that there is no negative marking. And if there is no negative marking, so when you are going to attempt your SAT, let me tell you that even if you do not know answers to few questions, okay, don't leave it unanswered. Just mark and move, make a guesswork, because even your wrong answer is not gonna make you lose any marks. Okay, the first thing, never leave any question unanswered, even if you do not know how to do it. Okay, the second question, what is the total duration of the test? Like how many hours you have to sit into the test center to appear for the exam? Masood, Ayush, Rajesh, Saad. Okay, guys, good to see. Good to see the involvement in the class. This is what matters. Okay, show the involvement in the class, and you are the one who are gonna learn everything in the classes. Okay, so yes, you said it's A, but this A, that option is only the writing part of the exam. The total duration of the exam is 3 hours and 15 minutes. This 15 minute is nothing but the break part that you get between the sections. Okay, you have two English section, you have two math section. Between the section, you get an overall break of 15 minutes. So total duration of the exam is 3 hours, 15 minutes. Okay. Now, moving on. Just few more questions to test your awareness about SAT. How many times SAT is conducted in a year in India? What do you think? Is it 3? Is it 4, 5, or 6? Yeah, very good. So SAT is conducted 5 times in a year, and that is in May. First of all, it is in March, May, then August, then October, then December. Okay. Now, how many of you are planning to give the SAT in this year? And if yes, so in which month? Can I have the answers, please? Of course, March is gone. May is about to come. So if anyone who is planning, so let me know. Saad, okay, June is not for Indian students. August. So I can see that majority, like maximum people or the majority of the people is going for August. Great. And I think this is the right time for you to start grabbing all the things that you can learn, right? So just take out your notebook and write down what all you learn in today's class. Maybe you can ace in SAT with that part. Okay, who is the maker of the SAT? Teeth, the score is valid for 5 years. Very good. College Board is the maker of the SAT. Right. Okay, so with all this thing, I hope that you got to know something about the SAT, the structure of the exam, the pattern of the exam, some awareness about SAT. Still, if you have any questions, you can please type it in the chat box and we are going to happily answer it. Now it's the time to begin our maths class. Okay, and maths is all about learning some cool tips and tricks. So I'm just going to take few questions on the screen, and let me tell you that the questions that I'm taking on the screen, these all are SAT questions. These all have appeared up in the exam somewhere. Okay. So talking about the very first question on the screen, and your objective is to solve it without using the calculator within 30 seconds. So I'm waiting for the answers now. Yes, Rajesh, a dropper can also give SAT. No issues. So the objective here is to solve this question within 30 seconds if you want to ace in SAT. I can see many intelligent people here. Jaibind, Mohammed, Saad, all I can see, giving the answers within seconds. Great. So let's see that how to do it in the exam. So the question goes like that: if x is greater than 0 and this expression is equal to 16, then what is the value of x? So the first thing that even without doing any kind of calculation here, we know that x is greater than 0. X is greater than 0 and question is asking you the value of x, right? So definitely, what can you say? It can't be any negative value for x. Can you have a negative value for x? Because it is saying that x is greater than 0. And if x is greater than 0, how can the x be negative? So the first thing is, even without doing any calculation, within 2 or 3 seconds, I can eliminate a and b. Now, either x has to be 2 or x has to be 8 over 3, because both the values are more than 0. So instead of solving the value for x, what I'm going to do is, we are already given with the value of x. So let's directly take the help of the answers here. If x is 2, all you need to do is to plug in into this equation and see that will it work. So that's going to be, this is going to be 3 times 4 minus 4. So 12 minus 4. Will that give you 16? Will that give you 16? No, that will not give you 16, right? So how can this be my answer? See, I am here not trying to tell you how to solve this question. I'm trying to tell you how to solve this question within seconds just by using process of elimination without worrying about exactly solving the equation. Are you getting my point, guys? So if we check with C, we already know that A, B, and C are eliminated because of some conditions. So it has to be D. Without even checking for it, we can mark and move, right? So now you can see that the question was easy. Many people were saying B, but will it work? Is B the correct answer? No, question was easy, but again, you fall into the trap answer. So that is how SAT is. Okay, coming to the next question now. Again, if x square minus 6x is equal to 7 and x is less than 0, then the value of x cube is. So again, you have to do the same thing. What all you have learned in the first question. Before we go and solve for anything, we try to look at the conditions and do process of elimination. SAT is not a school level exam where you see the equation and you start solving it. Knowing that x is less than 0. If x is less than 0, definitely x cube will also be less than 0, right? X less than 0, so cube is also less than 0. So we can't have the answers as C and D because they are the positive value of x cube, but x cube has to be negative. Now what we can do, instead of solving this expression, the one more way that you can do this question, again, take the help of the answers here. You know that this is the value of x cube, right? What is this? This is the value of x cube given to you. So I think B is more easy to go with. If x cube is -1, so guys, what is x? If x cube is -1, so x will also be -1 because -1 cube is -1 only. And if x is -1, all you need to do is to put this value into this equation here. Okay. And see that will it be equal to 7? So -1 square is 1 and +6, and that's true. Now the question that comes to your mind, you all might be thinking that, okay, the equation is so simple here, we could have easily solved it and we could have get the value of x. Yes or no? How many of you are thinking this thing? That, okay, the equation is very simple. We could have simply taken x as common here, factorize the equation and get the value for x, right? You might be thinking these things, no? So the objective here is that, instead, think about it. If in the exam, if this equation becomes complicated, instead of being a simple equation, you get a complicated equation. In that case, solving is easy. No. In that case, what is easy? Just plugging in the answers. Okay. So this is something that you have to learn. Okay. Coming to this question now. Which of the following is equivalent to this expression? Again, you have, let's say, 30 seconds. So all these questions, let me tell you students, that I'm taking on the board are the questions from the no calculator section. You are not allowed to use the calculator. And without using the calculator, you have to do within seconds. Javin is saying it's going to be C. Option C or option 3, whatever you say. Ayush, D. Okay. Guys, come on quickly. You should not be losing the time because you have to do 20 questions and you have 25 minutes only. Okay, so we are struggling between B and D, right? Let's sort it out. And the way that we can do this question, of course, looking at this expression, it seems weird to simplify it, right? So what I will do is, instead of solving it algebraically, I will just try to play with the numbers. So because there's a variable X in the question and variable X in the answers, all you can do is you can simply plug in some number and then you can play with the number. For example, can you give me any easy number to plug for X? No, don't worry about all that long division, Ananya, because we are not giving a school exam and doing long division will take a time. Okay. And of course, we may also lose our accuracy. So can you give me some easy number to plug in for X? I will take some easy number. Just give me in the chat box. Okay, 1. So let me take X as 1. If we take X as 1, the value of this expression will come out to be what? It is going to be 1 square, which is 1 plus 3 plus 7, divided by 1 plus 4, which is 5. So that's going to be 7 and 4, 11 over 5, which means when X is 1, this is your target number. Okay, this is going to be your target number. So all you need to do is to go back to all the answer choices and see that where do you get this target number when you plug in X as 1. So in option A, if you plug in X as 1, it is going to be, that is 10 over 4. And that does not matches the target number. Similarly, it can't be option 2 because here the denominator is 4, but we want a denominator of 5. Now, going for option 3, it is 3 plus 7 over 5, which is nothing but if you take the LCM, it's going to be 15 plus 7 over 5. And 15 plus 7 over 5 is not 11 over 5. So definitely it has to be the last one. Let's check it out. 1 minus 1 plus 11 over 5. So this and this cancels out. You get 11 over 5. That matches the target number, which is your answer. Ananya, the point here is that long division, if you feel like that, okay, this is easy for you, you can definitely do it, but not for everyone. Okay. And not for even all kind of questions. That is my point. So the motive here, so what is the motive of me coming over here in the class? Just to show you that, yes, this is something that you can use for solving questions in SAT, because long division, factorization, algebra, making equations, these all things you have learned in school. And these are not quite effective when it comes to solving the question within us, like within a minute or within some seconds. So the point here is that if you feel like something you can use here, something more easy, something more accurate, try to grab it. Maybe you will find some other question where you can use this, right? So what we have learned, that whenever you feel like that doing algebra is not easy here, it is going to take time, you can simply plug and play. You can plug any number and do this way. Okay. Now, moving on to the next question. Now think about this question. What was Joel's age 2 years ago if 2x years ago he was y years old? Okay, Javin is saying A. B, C. Now you tell me, this is a simple question. How many of you will say it's a simple question? Definitely, I agree it's a simple question. But instead, we are getting different answers here. So don't you think that, yeah, of course, only one will be correct here and the others are going to be wrong. So in this way, we'll lose the marks in the exam. Right. So what is a way that can help us ace in a SAT without giving any wrong answers, always arriving to the right answer? This is what I'm teaching you here. Okay. So now it's my approach. If you want, if you like it, you can make a note of it. In the last question, which we have discussed here, I talked about that, okay, if something becomes difficult to do it algebraically, you can do it by plugging in, right? You can plug in some numbers and then easily you can do it. Here also, if you feel like that making equations is difficult, so again, you can do it by plugging in because we have a variable X and we have a variable Y. So whenever we have variables in the question, you can plug and play. Now the variables in the question is X and Y. Okay. So let's plug in some number. For example, any random number we can take. Let's say X as 1 or Y as 4, whatever you feel like, 5, 6, anything. Okay. Now you read the question. Question goes like, what was Joel's age 2 years ago if 2x years ago and x is 1? So which means 2 years ago. So what we can infer from here, that 2 years ago, the age of the person is how much? The age of the person is Y years, which means 4 years. So the age 2 years ago is 4, which means what is the present age? If someone 2 years ago is 4 years old, then how much he is at the present time? So 2 years ago, 4. So now it will be 4 plus 2, so 6 years old, right? Now, what is the question asking? Question is asking that what was Joel's age 2 years ago? Now, that is your question. What was Joel's age 2 years ago? So you know that the present age is 6. And again, the question is asking what was the age 2 years ago? So which means if present age is 6, so 2 years ago, he will be 4. And 4 is the target number, yes or no? And this is that you can play with any number, not only 1 and 4, you can plug in any number. And this way you can get, okay, my target number is 4. All you need to do is check all the answer choices. So option A is going to give you a 2 into 1 minus 4 minus 2. Just need to plug in X and Y. You won't get 4. Option B will give you 2 into 1, 2 plus 4 minus 2. So 4 plus 2, 6 minus 2 is 2. That matches the target number, right? Option C will give you 2 minus 4 plus 2, which again is not matching the target number. So it's not the correct answer. Option D will give you 4 minus 2 plus 2. Now, if you see over here, you see that, okay, it's going to be 4 minus 2 plus 2, so which is giving you 4. So what happened? You have two numbers, two options matching the target number, right? Two options matching the target number. So what will you do now? So what will you do now? All you need to do is just to change the target number. Okay. Now it's your turn. I just want you to plug in some different numbers instead of 1 and 4, because when you take 1 and 4, there are two options matching. So now it's your turn. For example, we can plug in X as 2 and let's say Y as some other number 5. Let's see what happens. Okay. So the question will go like, what was Joel's age 2 years ago if 2x years ago? So what is X? X is 2, which means 4 years ago. If you plug in the X as 2, so you can say that 4 years ago, he was Y years old, which means he was 5 years old. So 4 years ago, he was 5 years old. So present age will be 5 plus 4, which is 9. And question is asking, what is the age 2 years ago? So question is asking 2 years ago, what is the age? So present age is 9. So 2 years ago, he will be 7. And that's your target number. All you need to do, again, check for B and D and tell me which one will give you 7. Which one will give you 7? Because A and C are already eliminated. So option B will give you what? 2 into, because X is 2 and Y is 4. So 2 into 2, which is 4 plus, Y is 5 plus 5 minus 2. So that will give you 9 minus 2, 7. Matches the target number. What about option D? Option D will give you 5 minus 2 into 2, 4 plus 2. That will be nothing but 3, and that does not match. So the only option matches is B, and that's the correct answer. So tell me, once you learn this approach, you will be easily able to apply so quickly with the numbers that even if you want to plug in more than once, which is once in a blue moon, if you want to plug in more than once, still you are going to complete your questions within a minute, and that too with accuracy. Right? Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to explain you guys? I can see there are some questions here. Let me just answer them quickly. How the target number came for? Mohammed, I think it's very easy. If you just focus on what I have written on the board, it is very easy for you to identify target number is 4, because just play with the numbers. Okay. Okay, just go one by one. You take any number for X and Y and then go one by one. It is very easy to find out. Okay. So before I move on and teach you more approach, more shortcut ways of acing in SAT, I would like Ume to come on and she would like to say something to you. So please, Ume.
Yes. So before we get to further questions, guys, I would like to interrupt the class and I would like you all to tell me if you're liking it or if you're not liking it. Is it helpful? Are you learning something new? Let me know in the chat box. Meanwhile, we can move on to the next slide. So basically, master classes are just a glimpse of everything that we can teach you. This is just one topic, but in our classes, we do much more, right? And we do it in detail. So all of the concepts that sir is teaching today, he's just teaching one of the concepts. When in our classes, we start from the basics. So let's take you through why you should choose Leap Scholars SAT program. So the first point is 40 plus hours of live classes, guys. So classes are live, they're very personalized, specifically curated for you. This is the kind of content you're not going to find anywhere else in the market. And that is something that we can guarantee with our in-house trainers, with 10,000 plus practice questions. So we provide you with 10,000 plus practice questions that you can sit and solve and understand how each concept works, with one-on-one doubt solving. So even today in the masterclass, whenever you're having a doubt, sir is already here to solve your doubts. He's already available to take you through it again. Whatever it is, our doubt solving sessions are always available for you. You can always contact our faculty directly and ask any doubt that pops up in your head. And moving on to the next slide, there's much more that we provide. Yes, so personalized revision sessions. This is something again very unique to us. So basically, before you attempt, we sit with you personally, and our faculty take up revision sessions on all the concepts that are taught in the syllabus, and we just brush up through everything once before you attempt. So you're very well equipped before you move on into the hall with live personalized learning with experienced faculty. So I always believe the best way to reach your destination is life is to have someone guide you through that path. And over here, we have experienced faculty with more than decades of experience in teaching, education, and SATs. And these are all live classes. These are not recorded lectures. So you get to interact with our faculty then and there. And coming to the next slide. Yes. So we've also provide 30 plus mock tests with detailed feedback by faculty. So not one, not two, not three, but 30 plus mock tests. You understand? So like you don't need to find mock tests anywhere else. And these are all proctored tests. So these are all tests that are actually there in SATs, and these are taken up from the SAT tests in the previous years. And you're not going to be able to find 30 plus tests in the market, even if you search for it, and we provide you with it with detailed feedback. So what our faculty does is we sit with you, we understand and track your progress, and we also tell you where you need to improve, how you need to go on, and what are your strengths, with lifetime access to full recordings of our classes. So like I said, our classes are live, but they are recorded, and if you want to go back to these classes, you're always going to have a lifetime access to it. So let's just say you finished up with the May attempt, but then you're planning to give the August attempt as well. And even if your course with us has finished, you can still go back to our recording of the live sessions and you can brush up with your concepts always. So having said all about what we provide, let's get back to the batch details. Yes. So we have two kinds of batches with the full course. First is the weekday batch, which is for 5 weeks. That starts on 5th of May. So now is your time. It's just starting in 5 days. It's from Monday to Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. And we have weekend batches that is for 8 weeks, starting on 14th of May. So in less than 2 weeks. Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturdays, it's from 6 to 8:30 in the evening. And on Sundays, it's in the morning, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So having said that, there is a poll that I've just launched. It's basically asking if you all would like to join our course, not join our course, and anyone who's interested in joining right away or registering with our course is going to be very helpful. I would like you all to type down your names in the chat box. Yeah, so I can see a lot of conversation as well in the chat box. But anyone who's interested in joining our courses, please let me know in the chat box. Our team will contact you further on how you can join our course and how we can further help you through it. So this is like a limited time opportunity, guys. I think once you have someone who can actually, take you through all of the concepts on the syllabus, it'll be much, much easier for you. And of course, this is not taught in school. This syllabus, the topics might be there in school, but the way we are teaching, you must have seen the difference, right? The same question you take 5 minutes to solve, we can solve it in less than 30 seconds. So I think nothing beats that. So yeah, any further questions you all have? And let me know if you want to register. And just a reminder, I would like all of you all to give the poll. 5 of you have still not given the poll. So if you want to move on with the class and want to solve more math questions, just type it in the poll. It's going to take like 0.3 seconds, guys. I'll give you 20 seconds. Type in your poll answers. Just one click. I think it's fairly simple. All right, 10 seconds more and I'll let you get back to your classes. All right, I think we can move further. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, great. So, what all we have talked about up till now is mainly about you should focus on process of elimination rather than, going and solving the question. And then you should try to use plugging in instead of making equations to do it, because there are chances of going wrong while making equations. So we have learned about those things, how to tackle questions in a more easier way and in more accurate way. Now, this question here on the board. So tell me, this question is, of course, a SAT question, right? And you are not allowed to use any calculator. You have only a minute to solve it. So I'm expecting the answer to come out. So think about it, guys. You are sitting in the exam and the question pops up on the screen or maybe on your booklet. Okay. So how will you do this? At the same time, the clock is running out. So many factors are involved. You have to complete all the questions. Javan is saying B. Okay. So only one answer. Okay, so let me tell you, might be okay, A, B. So I think we have someone is saying A, someone is saying B, but let's come out to something so that you all can fall onto the same page. Okay, which means you all should give the right answers. That is my point. I was explaining you many times that, you will definitely get many questions in the exam, which if you try to do it algebraically, you will take more time and you will not be accurate. You lose the time, you lose the accuracy. So what we can do here, in order to do this question easily, we can play with numbers. Instead of doing it in the terms of X, we can just plug in some value for X. That is what we have learned in last two questions as well. Now, what do you think is a good and easy number to plug in for X? Because looking at this expression, you know that in the denominator, we have X plus 4 and X minus 4. Okay. So can you give me any easy number? So 1 plus 4 and 1 minus 4, that way also can work. But if you don't want to make the denominator negative, let's say 1 minus, see, 1 will work. 1 will work, any number will work. But what about if you just plug in X as simply, let's say 0? Let's see what happens if we go with 0, isn't it? Isn't 0 is a more easy number that can sort out your calculation? So if we plug in X as 0, what will happen? It is going to be 20 over minus 16, okay, is equal to 0 over something is 0 over 4. and minus a over minus 4, right? You can plug in any number, but I'm just taking a number which can ease my calculation. So 20 over minus 16, and 0 divided by any number is 0, of course, and that is equals to minus of a over minus 4. So minus minus cancels out. So minus 20 over 16 is equal to a over 4. So a is nothing but minus 20 into 4 divided by 16. So 4, 4, 16 and 4, 5, 20. So minus 5. Right? You can plug in any number. Okay, Ayush, you have given 1. You can try with 1. It will also give you the answer. You can try with 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's all about, what kind of number, because we are the one who has to choose the number. So why not some kind of number that can ease our calculation? And this is what I'm trying to convey you, that you should know plugging in, because many questions will be like this and you can't solve all the questions. Okay, then think about this question here. The question goes like, if the average of 2-digit number, so these are 2-digit number, okay? Like this is 1 digit and this is the other digit. This is 1 digit, this is the other digit. And the average is 35, then what is the value of x? So can you even imagine doing it by making some equations? Can't even imagine of doing it, because that will take a lot of time. So there has to be some way of doing it more easily within a minute. And that is, the question is asking you the value of x, which means the numbers in the answers is nothing but the value of x. So what you can do, you can plug in the answers here, or you can take the help of the answers here, right? So we generally start from the middle option, let's say B or C. So if we take x to be 4, let's say we start from B, taking x to be 4, which means the numbers will be like 14, 47, and 44. So we get our 3 numbers, and the question is like, the average of the 3 numbers is 35. So let's check the average. How do you find the average of the 3 numbers? Sum of the number divided by the number of observations, that gives you average, right? So just check it. Will you get the average to be 35? If you do it, so 7 and 4, 11, 11 and 4, 15. So 2, 4, 6, 4, 10. So 1, 0, 5, 4, 3. And we just need to check, is it going to be equal to 35 or not? So yes, 35 equal to 35. So which means B is the correct answer. Imagine if you have to make the equations here. Is it easy for you to make the equation and then solve it? Maybe you can, but of course, you would have taken more time. Right? So these are the things you have to learn. People who ace in SAT, they use these things because these things are not taught in school, and school ways cannot make you do or score well in SAT. Think about this question now, everyone. Once you go back to home and try to do more questions like this, especially you can take out any SAT relevant questions and you can apply these things which you are learning in today's class, you will find a great improvement in your approach. Initially, you were more focused on solving. Now you are more focused on eliminating, plugging in, and plug in the answers approach. So question goes like, Rachel has 50 with her, $50 with her. She wants to buy some burgers and sandwiches. Each burger cost $5 and each sandwiches cost $6. If she buys a total of 9 food items, how many sandwiches can she distribute among her friends? I know that many of you are trying to make equations, 2 equations, and solve it and do it. But if I here make the equation, which means I'm no more different person than your school teacher, isn't it? Because a school teacher also will tell you the same way. Take X, Y, and make equation and solve it. Okay. But how do we teach you in the class is that equation you already know. If you feel like you're comfortable, go make the equation and do it. And that's good. But people who find difficulty, what they can do is they can again just take the help of the answers here because we have numbers in the answer. So question is asking how many sandwiches can she distribute among her friends. So this is representing the number of sandwiches, right? So without making equations, how we can do it? So we already are given with the number of sandwiches. So we start from B or C. So taking the number of sandwiches to be 5, what else we can find? Because we know that the total, she buys a total of 9 food items. If out of 9 food items, 5 are sandwiches, which means the remaining has to be burger. So which means how many are remaining? 4 are remaining. So she is having 5 sandwiches and 4 burger. And now what we know that the cost of the burger is, each burger is 5 and cost of the sandwich is how much? 6. So cost of a sandwich is 6 and we are buying how many sandwiches? 5. So 5 into 6, 30 is the cost for sandwich. And cost of a burger is 5 and she is buying 4 burger. So 5 into 4, 20. So the total amount she should be having to buy the sandwiches and the burger should be 30 plus 20, which is 50. And as per the question also, she invested how much amount? She invested 50 only. She was having 50 only. So that is the correct answer. No need to even check for A, C, and D, because this is the only answer that is going to satisfy the criteria of the question. So Masood, if you were saying C, but did you notice that C is not the correct answer here? Because if you take C, so you are saying that, okay, you are taking 7 sandwiches, which means how many are left? Total 9 food items. So 7 sandwiches, so 2 burgers. Okay, so the cost of the sandwich will come out to be 7 into 6, which is 42. And the cost of the 2 burgers will come out to be 2 into 5, 10. And the total cost will go to 52. But as per the condition, the total cost she has is only 50, right? Or the total amount she has is only 50. So think about it. You really want to stick to those school ways and fill the form and make so many mistakes in the exam, or you want to use these kind of more better ways, save your time and increase your accuracy and ace in SAT. So this is how we teach you. And this is the approach which we should have. So these kind of things comes in the exam, and this is the way. Now, Ume, if you have something to say, you can please come up. Because I have one more thing which I will take while Ume will finish all the things, and that is I will give you some tips for acing in SAT. So Ume, you can please come up and then I will go on.
All right. So guys, was today's session helpful? Let me know in the poll that I've just launched. It's basically asking you to rate the session. How was it? It was okay. Liked it, loved it, found it helpful. And I want you all to please be having conversations with me, because then it'll just get boring for either of us. So no one wants that, right? Yeah, I can already see answers coming in. So thanks. Now moving on to the next slide. Keep giving the polls, but please keep paying attention. Moving on to the slide of UG counseling. So at LEAP, we also provide counseling, which again, in my advice, is something that can actually help you achieve your dream college. So let me just brush up through what it is that we provide in our counseling. So first one is profile building, right? To stand out from the crowd. We were just having conversations about it at the beginning of the session. So your SAT scores, your school scores, your percentage, all of that constitutes only 50% of your profile. The rest 50% goes into extracurriculars. It goes into, leadership skills, about personality building traits. So at LEAP, we help you actually build your profile. We get you registered to courses that you would wish to take up, or we get you internships. We can also help you get, a lot of other extracurriculars. We can help you with volunteering work if that's what you want to do. So we overall help you build your profile. Second, coming to college shortlisting, which is very important. You are at an age where, you must have been very confused about which college to take up to, and you must be going through the list of colleges, and it is a kind of complicated process, and you can't go wrong with your colleges because it builds your profile, right? At the end of the day, it also builds your entire career. So we also sit with you and help you get through college shortlistings. We make a list of all the colleges that you should apply to and how you're supposed to apply to it and the documentation required to submit to these colleges, as well as which field you want to take up to and which college is the best that suits your field and your career. Coming to SOP, LORs, and essays, we were talking about letter of recommendations as well in the beginning of the session. SOPs are something sort of like an essay that you have to submit to your college before your admission to that college. And we have people that have graduated from the top 20 universities in the world, from Ivy League colleges like Harvard, like Princeton, like Yale and Brown, that can help you sit and edit out your essays, as well as give you access to Ivy League college SOPs that are submitted every single year. So it does help you, write your essays better and give you a better chance at getting admission. And the next point is advisory on scholarships and financial guidance. So, like we've mentioned, abroad education can be a little expensive, and it's always good to have scholarships. So, LEAP will help you find scholarships and will also help you find financial aid and guidance about the same. Coming to the last point, that is visa assistance, right? It's very important. Visa interviews specifically for US and Canadian visas is actually difficult to get through to. So, we have mock interviews that we will hold with you. Our team of counselors will sit with you and help you get through all the visa documentation procedures, help you compile the documentation you need, and as well as to help you get through mock interviews and sit with you and prepare you for those interviews so you get in at the first chance. Coming to the next slide, since I'm talking so much about counseling and stuff, I would like to introduce one of the counselors. We have a panel of counselors. We have many counselors with us, and one of them is Arian. So Arian is an alumni of Harvard, and I'm pretty sure you must have heard of Harvard. It's an Ivy League college. It is the top ranked college in the world. She's also from the team of admission counselors, and she's also graduated from Georgetown University. And for those of you all who don't know, Georgetown stands 7th in the global rankings of one of the top schools in the world. She's also a board member of Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs. So I think Arian is the one person that you can really look up to, since she's an alumni of Harvard and Georgetown, and she can actually help you achieve your dream careers. Moving on to the next slide. So like I mentioned, we had a panel of counselors, right? So I'm just going to give you a list of all the colleges that they have graduated from. So our counselors have graduated from Stanford University. They've graduated from Yale, Princeton, and Brown. All of them are Ivy League colleges. Our counselors are also from Purdue University and University of California. And the list of these 6 universities, these are top 10 schools in the entire world. So I hope you understand that we have counselors that can not just provide you quality, but also give you first-hand experience of what it feels like to be a part of such esteemed universities. And coming to the next slide, so enough about what our team can provide you. Let's talk about where our students have actually gotten admission to and where we've helped them get admission to. The first university that we've helped them get admission to is Yale, which is again an Ivy League college. We also have students that are registered to Cornell University. Again, it's an Ivy League. Cornell is one of the best business schools in the world. Wharton University, New York University, UC San Diego, University of Illinois, UC Davis, again, top 20 schools in the world, University of Michigan, UC Berkeley, University of Southern California, Duke, Rice, Northwestern, Wharton, Emory, all of these mentioned on your screen are top 20 schools in the world, and our students are studying there through our help. So I think that's enough to convince you all to join our counseling, which can actually really help you. And coming to the next and the last slide before we move further with the session. So we have 3 mentorship programs. First one is the Ivy Advising Program, specifically for those students who are planning to get into Ivy League colleges. Then we have Global Advising Program that help you throughout global colleges in the entire world, including one of the top schools in the world. And Elite Advising Program, which again helps you shortlist colleges according to your preference. So yep, and the prizes are on your screen, and it'll be amazing if you all would like to join us. Having said that, I would like to ask if there's anyone who would like to join our courses, either our membership program or our SCT Plus course, which again, both of them are very helpful. So if you all want to join, type in your names in the chat box and my team will contact you. I'm also typing down the contact details of my team. So if you want any further details about the same, you can contact us, ping us, or email us. And Preet, you've raised your hand. So does that mean you have a question, or does it mean that you want to join one of our courses? Let me know in the chat box, Preet. It would be helpful. And guys, is there any other question you all want to ask regarding SETs, colleges, applications, universities? Just type it on the chat box quickly so I can answer it for you. And Preet, you've raised your hand. Could you tell me whether it's a question or whether you would like to join our course? 10 more seconds, guys. I'll wait till you all type in either your names for joining our courses or either your questions. Okay, if there are no further questions, I think, sir, we can move forward.
Yeah, sure. So the one thing and the last thing from my side that I would like to take up on the screen is tips to improve your SAT score. So as of now, what all tips I can give you based on what we talked about in today's class is only, few tips, not all. And those tips are always read and underline the relevant pieces of information before answering your question. Okay, because sometimes what happens is that we directly rush onto the question and we don't read all the pieces, and that is where we fall into the trap answer. This is what SAT is, and many students fall for it if you don't read it carefully, because this is our general tendency, right? Application of time tested techniques and approaches. So I think that you have already seen few of the techniques and few approaches that I talked about and compared them from the school approaches. So you should know what is the right kind of approaches you should use and where to use, when to use, how to use. The third thing is that don't panic in the exam. Okay, looking at the question that, oh, this question, I do not know what to do. Never panic in the exam. Okay, the fourth tip is that maximum use of pencil and paper without skipping any steps. Many students who are quite brilliant, quite good, they still are not able to get good marks because of one thing only, which is their mental calculation. They try to do the things mentally, and they as for do some kind of silly mistakes and they get a wrong answer. So SAT is a paper and pencil exam. So try to make maximum use of it. All the work that you do, even if it's a simple calculation, I say that do it on paper. It will not take much time, right? So use paper and pencil for the calculation. Do not skip any steps. And the last step is read the question carefully before you mark your answer. Once you get your answer, before you go and mark it, you should read it carefully that what is the actual question was asking you, because many time it happens like that by the time you are solving a question, you get so lost in it that once you get the value of X and Y, you feel like, okay, this is my answer. And you mark it. But that's a trap answer, because the actual question might be asking you the value of 2X or value of X minus Y. Getting my point? So it's very important that before marking your answer, you have to read the actual question and then mark it. So these are the some tips to ace in SAT and to escape yourself from falling into a trap answer. So yes, guys, this is all from my side, and we are every day coming up with these kind of sessions so that in any way we can help you out. Okay, so yeah, I am hoping that I see you next in my session, and the next session which is gonna be on Monday, right, Ume? The next session is on Monday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much from my side. Bye bye. Take care and keep practicing. See you in the next session on Monday.
Yeah. Guys, before we leave you all, any other questions you all want to ask? Jebin, you've raised your hand. Is there a question you want to ask? You're most welcome, Ayush and Masood. If there are no questions, then we can end the session. Also, just a reminder, if you would like to join our courses. All right. Since there are no questions, thank you so much for joining in, guys. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm receiving comments. Is there any books that we should refer to? Mohammed, if you join our course, we provide you with the Kaplan SCT prep guide. But if you want to purchase it, you can purchase that as well. But with our courses, we give you the guides that you will require for your SCT. But one of them that I can recommend is the Kaplan SCT prep guide. It's one of the best guides in the market. So yeah. And Ayush, you want to join MIT, and the best person who can help you with joining our MIT is our counselor, to be very honest. One of our counselors is a graduate from Stanford, and I think he'll be able to actually help you through, getting into MIT. MIT is ranked first in the entire world. It's one of the best colleges the world has ever seen. And it's a highly competitive college. To get into MIT, it's going to take a really strong profile, and it's going to have to like cut edge with almost all of the competition that comes along. So yeah, all the very best, Ayush, and I'm glad that you have such high dreams. So yeah, I always whenever someone talks about dreams, I always think if you can dream and if you have the power to dream, why not dream big and then actually go ahead and achieve it? So yeah, all the very best, guys, to each and every one of you. Okay. Having said that, if there are no further questions, I'll end the session. Or if anyone wants to join our courses, either our counseling or SCT course, you can let me know in the chat box. You're most welcome, Mohammed. Yes. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. See you all every day of the week at 4 if you want to join our masterclasses. And if you want to join our course, then see you all there as well. And thank you for your time. Hope you have an amazing evening ahead. And please take care.